Welcome in this Wednesday edition Oxford Exxon Podcast. Chase Parham, Neal, McCready, Clark Ford Studio here with you this morning. It's 3 days away from Ole Miss's season opener between the Rebels and the Troy Trojans. Thank God, because there's only so much previewing you can be doing with the opener just a couple days away. We've been doing it for basically 2 months, so it is time to play a football game. We'll have Neal's picks up on the site tomorrow. Jeffrey will join us tomorrow morning, kind of into the end of the week, which is definitely game week, as we have some programming coming to you every week for that. Neal talked to Taylor Zarzer. We'll have that tomorrow night on Hand Raise Guys. So you're talking to him today?
Talking to him today at 1.
Okay.
And then I'm taping G-Pits at 2. I'm taping with Pete DeWeese tonight at 7. Get that to you tomorrow as well. Taped the Butcher versus the Spin Instructor yesterday. We'll get that to you tomorrow. We got lots of stuff. Lots of stuff.
Subscribe on the YouTube page. We would appreciate it.
Yeah,
Make sure you're subscribing on Spotify, Apple, wherever it is you listen to this here podcast. That would be appreciative as well.
That helps.
I don't care if you rate and review. I know a lot of people say that. I couldn't care less. But
if
subscribe.
you do,
5.
say nice things.
No, you can say whatever you want.
Yeah.
Just give us 5 stars.
Yeah,
as long as you give us 5 stars, you can call us all a bunch of freaking morons, and that's completely and utterly fine. The star ranking is what I would like.
Yeah, that's always good. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Tell a friend to subscribe. Remind people on social media to subscribe. Any of that would be good. Our subscriptions are rolling up, though. We're moving up.
Yeah. Only 4,700 away.
Yeah, we're just closing in.
Right there.
just needed
just all y'all tell a friend. We'll be right there.
As Harry Carey used to say, just one more biscuit for breakfast, and that was gone.
Yeah.
You know.
Speaking of food, the Oxford Exxon lunch special. Remember, you can get bread, any size fountain drink you want with your special. Again, if you want a big drink or a small drink, they let you choose. Same price either way. Today's lunch special is red beans and rice. That is your own lunch special with, again, the Oxford Exxon, Highway 6 West in Oxford. Download the Exxon mobile app while you're at it. Save on some coin, save on some gas. 1,000 bonus points just for downloading the app, opening it up when you take a picture of the QR code, or you type it into the App Store on whatever your device is. Again, coming to you from the Clark Ford Studio.
We are Clark Ford's in Amory, Mississippi, 662-257-1900, 662-257-1900. Call that number, ask for Corey Clark, tell Corey what Ford product you're looking for. He'll send you a quote within 15 minutes in business hours, right to the bottom line. No hassle, no haggle. You get your quote. The rest completely up to you. You can shop that quote around. You can do what I've done, what I recommend that you do. That's hop into a Clark Ford today, 662-257-1900. Jeffrey Wright, Taylor Zarzer, others will join on the Rafters Music and Food Hotline later this week. Rafters Music and Food on the Square in Oxford. If you're coming up for Ole Miss versus Troy, need to stop in, get a beer, get a drink, whatever the case may be. Make Rafters part of your weekend. It's Rafters on the Square, and then also Rafters in New Albany. People are asked what happened yesterday. Here's a little background for you that I had a premonition about yesterday. So I was out running on Saturday, and I noticed that there were a lot of those painted lines all over people's yards and all over sidewalks. And one in particular, they all converged. I don't think he'll mind me saying this. It converged in an area because when they did the first run, when Northeast Spark did it, the big area where all the drawing was happening was in my yard.
Okay.
This time, it was in Joe Swingle's yard.
Okay.
And I remember as I passed Joe's yard on Saturday, thinking someone's going to hit the wrong line.
So we think what happened is that a Spark competitor cut their line.
Actually, exactly. A competitor, a contractor for a competitor cut into or through the main underground power line for the entire neighborhood.
Yeah.
And so the power went out. There's nothing that happened in here. It had nothing to do with Northeast.
Nothing Spark did wrong.
Spark did not do anything. I went outside. You had just left, and I talked to somebody, and I said, "What do you think?" And he goes, "Well, this happened at such and such." He goes, "It took about 8 hours." And I was like, "God damn it," because I'm trying to think, what do I do? Because I got all these things I'm taping or whatnot. to Northeast Mississippi's Power's everlasting credit, it was back by 12:30, 1 o'clock, I was stunned.
All in all, when the main line's cut, that's pretty quick.
But I got in my Clark Ford vehicle and drove over to the Swingles, the area in front of their house, and sure enough, that's where the chaos was ensuing.
Was it?
And I said, I knew this. I literally saw this coming. But you know what? If it had to happen, Tuesday was the best day for that to happen. Because
there were some days where it would have been pure chaos.
Well, Monday would have been like, oh my God, what do we do? And then Thursday is I can't afford. I mean, if it's got to happen, I'd rather it happen on Friday. But Monday and Thursday are days that it just can't happen because I'm taping all day. And actually Wednesday too, a lot of taping. And writing. But yesterday was a good day because I had football. The last preseason media opportunity was yesterday. So I had football, went over to that, came back. By the time I got back here, I was thinking I was just coming in to kind of let the dogs in, and I was going to go find a place to go write. But no, it was all good.
Speaking of, you like Northeast Spark, 662-238-3159 for that, or nespark.com while we're praising them for getting it back up and running yesterday. Yeah, because it was not like, hey, it flickered, let's wait on the internet. The entire world shut off at that moment, like everything.
But it didn't.
I was terrified of losing the audition file when it happened. That was my concern, which we could have gotten it off YouTube. But
knock on wood, this computer,
saves it.
This big bad boy of a computer, it's really protective.
Okay.
It seems to care about me.
And it saved it right where it clicked. And
it was right there. It said there's a saved audition file that you were using. Would you like it? I said I would.
Yes, thanks.
And so I got it, exported it, and
it was fine.
It was fine.
It actually cut off right where, like, there was not even like any. It just wherever it clicked, that's where it was at. So yeah. Apparently YouTube kept going for a few minutes too, and I don't understand why that was going on yesterday. But
yeah, I don't know,
because there was nothing pushing.
I don't know.
So symmetry across the country yesterday, as here close on I-55, they spilled a ton of Alfredo sauce out of a tractor trailer, and I mean a ton. It was a tractor trailer full of Alfredo sauce all over I-55. You can see pictures on Twitter. I think it originated from Parker, Branton, is where you can find that out. I guess a crash because it's part of the trailer is basically torn open, and Alfredo went everywhere all over 55. They had one lane open on the far right side shoulder basically to get people around, and then also on the same day, a big rig in California, Vacaville, California, caused 150,000 tomatoes to scatter across Interstate 80.
Ah.
So we had a hell of a pasta sauce here if we could go from California to in the Memphis area and pull those two together.
Out in California, just need some oregano, a little parsley, some basil.
Basil, yeah.
Just fix that right up.
Really bad day for two drivers yesterday.
Oh.
That's not the call you want to make back to the home office. Is not only is the truck in a problem here with a wreck or something, but hey, that entire load is whatever it is at this moment.
Yeah, someone probably asked them if they stayed up past their bedtime.
Oh,
that's cute. That's good.
That was good.
I saw it elsewhere.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay. Speaking of food, and we will move on because I understand there's football in a couple of days, but frankly, there's nothing to talk about yet. I think we lied about we're done with Miscellaneous Wednesdays. No, we need full slates of games. We did not get full slate of games.
Well, with Ole Miss especially, yesterday we got Zach Evans, Otis Reese, and A.J. Finley. And so I knew with Zach we might get some stuff because Zach likes to talk. AJ's pretty corporate, and Otis just kind of says stuff. And there's nothing really to say. And AJ's been at Ole Miss for, 9 seasons? So, I mean,
he knows the score.
He knows the deal. And they sent him in for that purpose.
He was Mike Hilton yesterday.
Yeah.
Hey, just go in, kill some time.
Say nothing.
I'm not worried about anything you're going to say. You're not going to screw up today.
Right.
Good.
Say nothing. Yeah, so that's it. I mean, Lane Kiffin will be on the SEC coaches teleconference today. He will get 15 questions about quarterbacks. I suspect he will give the same answers that he's been giving about quarterbacks. If he says something different, we will bring that to you. I don't anticipate that. And then that's it, man. Nothing more until Saturday.
Zach did say he wanted more than 20 touches a game.
Said he wanted 20 to 25 a game, which is a lot.
That's a load.
Keeping 4 running backs happy is going to be
That's impossible.
very difficult.
I get it's the depth chart. Bullock was not on the depth chart.
He was not.
They had Evans and then Bentley or Judkins behind Evans.
And Bullock looked pretty good in camp, so it tells you that they're loaded there.
Bullock was fine. There are years where Bullock would be the dude that we have covered.
Yeah, for sure.
Where he looks better than some dudes that were the starters back in the day.
Yeah.
Several days, actually.
Yeah.
Several years. Because you can look. We're not talent evaluators. If you tell me to rank and separate like the 30th percentile to the 65th percentile, I got no shot. I don't know. They all look the same. But I know 80 to 100 and I know 0 to 25. And there would be camps at Ole Miss where you'd see a running back and they go, hey, he's going to – I'm like, no, he's on the other end.
He's not
That's
good.
not what that's supposed to look like.
Yeah.
But all 4 of these dudes look like that. Like you go, oh, okay, yeah, like they're SEC backs. I get it. That makes sense to me. So I get that this came from Barstool yesterday, but I have to point out that I get made fun of all the time, and it's completely justified because it's nostalgia. It's one thing. I put the ketchup on one piece of pizza when I was growing up. Barstool did a thing yesterday of the 10 dips that for pizza. Apparently, there were 10 that they thought were.
You're just
acceptable.
determined to piss people off today.
Ketchup was number 10. It just made the list at number 10. And actually, I don't even do that anymore. I've actually even cut out the. Not that I eat a ton of meat lovers from Pizza Hut, but I would not at this point put ketchup on it. If so, but point being. Do people really use that many different dips for ketchup? Is like normal
for pizza,
social?
you mean?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Is that normal?
You'd have to tell me what the dip. So I would
All right,
assume
number 10, ketchup.
Okay, I would assume there's going to
I'm
be
weird for ketchup. I understand it because frankly, it's just putting tomato with sugar on tomato. It's
That is correct.
It's doubling it. I mean,
yeah,
kids like ketchup because it has sugar in it. That's one of the reasons.
That is
why.
correct.
It can be a gateway condiment to at least make kids eat food they wouldn't otherwise eat. However,
A gateway condiment.
yes.
Okay, that's interesting.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. I've just never heard
Kid
it.
might not eat something, some kind of chicken, but if they eat it with ketchup, you go, hey, you know what? Okay, go ahead. Because it gets the chicken in them.
Okay.
And they mask it with ketchup.
Okay.
Italian dressing. I would never in my mind think of that.
No, but it makes more sense than ketchup.
There are people that eat French dressing on ketchup, right?
Yes. That's a
coast thing.
It's a coast thing, yeah.
Yeah. Queso would never cross my mind, number 8. Because if I'm eating queso, I don't want it on pizza.
Well, you're adding cheese to cheese.
I don't know that it would be bad. I mean, spicy cheese.
I guess if it were like a Mexican pizza, a taco pizza, that makes some sense, I suppose.
That's different. I mean, like, we're talking about what you would put on a sausage and pepperoni or something. Like,
okay. Yeah,
I guess. I mean,
okay.
Blue cheese dressing.
Mm-mm.
Mayonnaise.
That's disgusting. That's communist. People take soccer as communist. No.
Mayonnaise on pizza.
Mayonnaise on pizza is.
You think anybody walks into Pizza Hut and goes, hey, you got any mayo?
I mean, apparently so, but that's disgusting. If you were on a date with a girl and she put mayonnaise on her pizza, would that be the end? See, for me, I'd be like, this is not going to work.
Wasn't this a grind thing? Was this what we?
I can't remember.
That woman you were dating, was it grind? Was it mayo? What was the mayonnaise on? What was the gross food? Number 5, barbecue sauce. I mean, obviously, there's lots of pizzas that have barbecue sauce as the base.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean put it on tomato-based pizza.
But okay.
Spicy honey is actually phenomenal on pizza.
Yeah, I can see that.
There's a pizza place in Little Rock, maybe, that does is it Little Rock or Hot Springs? It's one or the other that has a fantastic pizza that has honey on it. It's
yeah,
really,
I don't
really
know.
Good. Yeah.
Contrary to popular belief, I am not an expert on all things Arkansas.
Buffalo sauce.
Okay.
Yeah, I actually am okay there. And then the top two are the known top twos that I know everybody does, even though I would not do number one: ranch and garlic butter. Garlic butter, fine.
Yeah.
I don't really like ranch dressing, but
here's my thing: is if you're having to dip your pizza in something, the pizza's probably not good. If the pizza's good, you don't want to dip it in anything, right?
yes, Grind said yes. She put mayo on pizza.
Yeah, it's a
See, I remember we talked about this.
That's a no. I'm out.
That was enough right there.
Yeah, I mean, because I now know that we're just, this is not, I mean, look, she might be hot and stuff, but when all that wears off and we're just, I mean, if a relationship goes all the way to a marriage, right, you're going to share a lot of meals. And if I've got to watch her dip all sorts of things in mayonnaise.
Well, here's the truth, too. If she's putting mayo on pizza, what all does she put mayo on?
Everything.
It's a large amount of product.
Yeah, and I just know I'm good. I'm not, I don't think I'm going to be able to get past that. That's going to be a no.
He said he also had one that ordered fries with baked salmon, and he never took her out again. Well, that's not nearly as egregious as the mayonnaise on pizza.
Fries with baked salmon. I mean, okay.
I'm not killing her on this one.
No, it's all right.
I mean, it's not ideal.
It's not a great pairing, but okay.
But at that point, you do run the risk of just being pretentious with your pairings. Like, if it's on the menu as a normal side offering, like, I'm probably going to look at you and go, really? But that's it.
Yeah.
We're going to move on. That's not going to ruin my day. Yeah, hot sauce would be fine on whatever. I don't care. Put hot sauce on anything you want.
Yeah, absolutely.
Feel
everything.
free.
Everything.
I'm good. There's no issue there at all.
In fact, if I get up to go to the refrigerator, everyone in the house knows I'm going to get Tabasco in all likelihood.
Oh, really?
I like it on damn near everything.
Do you have a big difference in the type of hot sauce? Like, can you really pick out, like, Louisiana versus Tabasco versus Crystal versus whatever?
A little bit.
I keep Crystal, but I don't know that I can really tell a ton of difference between them.
I can tell a difference.
Louisiana's a little sweeter. It's
Right.
got a little bit of a sweet taste to it.
But I'm not a snob when it comes to those things.
No,
I like it all.
I would rather have one of those based hot sauces versus sriracha. I prefer a vinegar hot sauce.
You and I are on sort of the same page on sriracha. I think I like it more than you do.
Okay.
But I'm cool about it. If you told me I could never have it again, I'd be like, okay, that's fine.
Oh yeah,
I'd be fine. Sure.
I mean, I don't keep it in the house.
We
I
have
don't
it.
buy it.
We have it, but it's
What do you use it for? Guest? Like, what do you?
every once in a while with like Oriental food or something, add a little. I mean, it can be a nice addition to something, but it's not like, I don't like to use it as a dip much.
Somebody asking about A1.
We're just pissing people
It's
off.
fine.
I literally look forward to the thread.
A1 is good on like chicken sandwiches or like other things that you could do, but use the St. Elmo sauce that we had. Like, that stuff was legitimately really good.
That was good.
That steak sauce.
In the next segment, we're going to break down the NBA schedule. So prepare. No, we're really not. I swear.
The first round of the U.S. Open was last night. We're going to go match by match with the agate as that is running through.
I mean, I'm ready for games to happen. Games start tomorrow. I'm super excited about games. I'm done with previewing games. Like, Tyler and I got to do a show tomorrow. We're going to pick games, and I'm just going to look at him like, here's who I'm picking.
I'm done talking about it.
You can pick and talk.
Well, that's kind of my point. I'm just like,
well, I've previewed the Ole Miss game now with you about 7,000 times. Troy Brown at least twice. Mason Brooks, Davison Igbonison. I'm going to do it with Pete tonight, actually.
Okay.
I did it with Greg and Campbell yesterday, although that's not previewing your game. That's a completely different exercise. But I've just done it. I'm done. We talked to Barry McKnight. I'm going to talk to Taylor Zarzer later today and Jeffrey's going to talk about it tomorrow. I've hit the
I would like to screw with you one week, though, and arm Campbell with a bunch of Pro Football Focus information for just one game, one show, and you're like, hey, so what do you think? And she's like, the backup defensive end had 87 snaps on what, and just runs through the game, and you go, hold on a minute.
Yeah, well, I would know something was up. I would say, so who have you? Are you dating someone now? What's happening?
Well, they go into a 5 front and pull back into cover 2, and then they start. Yeah,
I would at that point know she was reading off of a script.
Okay.
I mean, this is the one who picked Oregon plus the points because they wear green.
Is she really?
Yeah, she likes.
And she will win.
She likes. Well, she's. Not to tease tomorrow's show too much, but if you just bet with Greg and Campbell last year,
won money last year.
You won not only money, you won a lot of money.
Yeah, I know.
Campbell was like 70% and lost by more than 10 games.
Wow.
Campbell would have won Neal's picks.
Oh well, yeah, 100%, sure.
So I don't make fun of him anymore. I just okay, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah. Podcast brought to you in part by G&M Pharmacy, 662-236-2222. They deliver locally in the Oxford area, and they offer medicine for your prescriptions the same day each month and take care of you. So one trip to the pharmacy, one delivery, and you have what you need when you need it from G&M. Also in Holly Springs with Tyson Drugs. And if you want to transfer your medication over, one call is all you need. Get away from the big box pharmacy and let G&M take care of the rest. So again, that's 662-236-2222.
Southern Traditions Farm is a 68-acre, 32-stall upscale equestrian training and boarding facility in Canton, Mississippi. They've got 2 sand rings, a grass ring, miles of wooded trails, a lot to be offered at Southern Traditions. You can get in touch with them, horseback riding offerings. You can do national competitions if you're kind of really serious about equestrian. Also, if you're looking for a place to host an event, it's a perfect place for it there in Canton. Go reach out to them on Facebook or Instagram at Southern Traditions Farm. We're brought to you by Pinpoint Commercial Real Estate, based out of Jackson, Mississippi. They service the entire state in all commercial asset classes such as industrial, retail, office, medical, and land. They provide a plethora of commercial real estate services, but the core focus is sourcing investment properties for their clients. BB Mitchell is who I'm referencing. BB advises clients looking to acquire income-producing property with all risk tolerance levels ranging from vacant buildings to investment-grade stabilized assets. To get in touch with BB, call 601-934-5008. Don't just accept what you see, but imagine something new. Step forward, chase after a better version of yourself. Every day, Corinth Dental is helping people reinvent themselves one smile at a time. Dr. Bubba McQueen, Dr. Jenny Beth Hendrick are devoted to restoring and enhancing the natural beauty of your smile using conservative state-of-the-art procedures, including Invisalign. These clear aligners are the virtually invisible way to improve your smile. Call Corinth Dental today for a no-cost digital scan of your teeth and let them show you the way to a straighter, healthier smile. 12 months, no interest, no down payment financing is available at corinthdental.com. Neal's picks will be up tomorrow, as Chase said. That's brought to you by Service Specialist Staffing and Recruiting Agency, connecting great job opportunities to candidates since 1967. It's always free for the candidate. It's a great resource for companies looking to hire quality, hard-to-find talent. Payment of service is solely contingent on if you decide to hire a candidate that they send. You've got nothing to lose, so give Will, Sydney, or Kelsey a call at 662-832-5138 or check out their website, servicespecialistltd.com. And a mailbag is up this morning at rebelgrove.com. It's brought to you by Whitney McNutt of Tommy Morgan Incorporated Realtors, serving you for all of your real estate needs in Oxford and Tupelo. She sells condos, land, commercial, and residential family homes. You can reach her at 662-567-2573 or 662-842-3844.
Podcast is brought to you by Prime Shrimp, primeshrimp.com. 6 different flavors right there in the bag that can be shrimp shipped straight to your door. Restaurant quality shrimp in under 10 minutes when you just pop it in some boiling water, pull it out, it seasons itself while it cooks, and it's ready for dinner, especially right now with kids in school, a lot of activities at night. Let Prime Shrimp help you out. And also, if you're a new customer, $20 off your first order with code MPW. That's primeshrimp.com. New flavors include lemon cracked pepper. Also, their 2-pound shrimp individually frozen in the bag. You can get that. It's just like the grocery stores, except a higher quality from the New Orleans-based company. So, again, primeshrimp.com. Couple of things here. We need you on our network basically all week long. Kind of as Neal said yesterday, there's other podcasts going around. One is we talk about movies a ton on this show, and including we spent more time than ever on Rocky is over the years, Top Gun, For Love of the Game, those kind of things. The Big Picture, a podcast that's still about movies, they did a Sylvester Stallone Hall of Fame this week that is pretty good, where they pick his 10 best movies and debate them. So it's a pretty decent listen if you're into a Ringer style podcast. I mean, you have to be into that kind of thing, but it's kind of funny and and whatnot. So they picked 10 movies. Stop My Mom Will Shoot was not on the list of the 10 greatest Sylvester Stallone movies ever, but it just missed. Some football stuff. Final rosters. We didn't really talk about this yesterday. 5 Rebels, 4 or 5. How many made it? It's Chance, Mark, Sam. Corral technically not because he's on
Dean
reserve.
Leonard.
And Dean Leonard. That was the one. Yeah, Dean Leonard makes a roster for the Chargers.
Jalen Jones made the Bears.
Did he? I did not see that.
Yeah.
Okay. I missed that one.
We'll save the Bears jokes for another day, but good for Jalen.
Oh, hell of a
great dude. Jalen spent 11 seasons at Ole Miss, and it paid off. He was at Ole Miss forever. Like, he was the one that bridged the generations.
He got hurt. He returned the kick for a touchdown against Texas Tech.
Got hurt in the opener.
Yeah.
Tore the ACL.
When they wore the white uniforms.
Mm-hmm.
Jalen Jones has been around since Scotty Phillips was the starting running back.
Yep.
And yet here he is.
And he made the Bears. I was super pumped for him.
And the injuries came back, put a ton of work in, changed positions multiple times trying to find a fit. Because dude was going to be an elite corner without an injury.
This is, not to go down this path again, but this is one of the things I'm really watching for, right? Is defensively,
they lost a lot of
dudes. They lost a bunch of dudes. Now, they've brought in a bunch of dudes. And I think they're going to be good. I think they have a chance to be really good. But I want to see some of it because they lost some cats who made NFL rosters. I mean, Mark Robinson didn't just make the Steelers. He's going to play.
For different reasons, you and I both have very high affinity for those 2 former Ole Miss linebackers. Obviously, Chance Campbell was great on his show on the network.
Yeah.
He was a phenomenal human over the course of his time at Ole Miss. And when you look at the entirety of it, because I talked to his mom for a long time for that story I wrote last year, Mark Robinson is one hell of a success story.
Yes.
Say, FCS running back who basically couldn't play at 2 different places and ends up being an SEC linebacker and an NFL member at the position, getting drafted and making the team.
Yeah.
It's the damnedest thing.
I talked about those 2 guys with Troy on the Troy Brown show. That was published last evening if you haven't had a chance to see it yet. But yeah, it's those are guys that they were terrific last year. Not only that, they played tons of snaps. And if you're surprised that Dean Leonard made a team, you weren't following last season.
Athletic dude.
Dean Leonard went from being a bit of a liability at the first part of the season to once the lights started coming on with him, he was not a liability any longer. He was a bit of a lockdown corner, in fact. He was terrific for them.
Mm-hmm.
And now you look at Jalen, and Jalen played a lot of football. So, there's a lot of guys to replace.
Yeah. I mean, Mark Robinson's mother told him, transfer to Ole Miss, and if I have to cash out my 401k to pay for it, I will. Just give him a shot. And he was on the scout team. I mean, in some programs would never even have had a chance to really make the deal.
Yeah.
But he impressed people, and, it worked out like a hell of a thing. I mean, it really did.
Yeah, so they've got to replace all those guys. I'm curious. And, again, Sam Williams, if he doesn't have the off-the-field stuff earlier in his career, is a first-round pick.
Oh, sure. Yeah. He was still marginally penalized for that.
Well, and I get it. I mean, guys had questions. I mean, there was stuff. It was complicated, and NFL teams dug into it, and Sam matured in ways that you rarely see people mature. He owned it. He addressed it. He was upfront about it. NFL teams were impressed with him. But, if you're in the NFL, especially first round, like you were talking about percentages, when you're looking at guys in the first round, you're like, boy, that guy's good. That guy's good. We're shades of gray here, right? And so, if you have something in your background, they go, no.
That's 20 spots.
This guy's a little safer. That's just the way they work.
They like safe.
Sure, and I get it. I mean, look at the Deshaun Watson stuff. It set the Texans back years.
Yeah, snap counts last year of defensive guys gone.
Okay.
Chance Campbell, 901. Sam Williams, 778. Dean Leonard, 622. Jake Springer, 535. Mark Robinson, 531. Jalen Jones, 423. Lakia Henry, 314. Kylan Knight, 255. Quentin Bibbins, 185. Sonogo, 144. Tisdale, 118.
It's a lot of guys.
A lot of snaps.
And this happens everywhere. So this is part of college football. I'm not saying Ole Miss is the only place replacing guys. I think and Lane talked about this. Lane answered my question. He goes, "Yeah, everyone kind of talks about the offense because of Matt. They lost Matt, and Matt was a face of the.
Oh, Snoop. Sorry, we forgot Snoop.
Oh, did Snoop make a team?
Yeah, he made the Jags, didn't he? Yeah, they kept 4 running backs. He made it.
Okay, yeah, okay, good for him.
Yeah.
Jerry Neely got cut. I think the Chiefs.
Braylon got cut. Dontario got cut.
I think the Chiefs are hoping to put Jerry on their practice squad, and I don't know about the other two.
And I'll be honest, going into camp, if you told me to predict, if you said one made it, I would have picked Snoop to make it over Jerry.
Yeah,
I would have.
Yeah, he's got more of a NFL skill set.
He can do some stuff.
I mean, Snoop will be a beast on some special teams.
Yeah.
Chance Campbell will too. That's one of the reasons that he impressed, is that he was really good on special teams.
Mm-hmm.
Mark Robinson will be a nightmare on special teams. Holy cow, my God.
Because that cat did do everything he could do to put his body in the best shape possible.
Well, and he's a freak athlete. Yeah, he was walking around. I mean, I was almost offended. He was walking around shirtless at Pro Day, and I was like, okay, this is not fair. I mean,
can you not do that for the rest of us?
Yeah.
That's going to respect. I would too.
I mean, I came home and I was like,
yeah. There's the really uncomfortable day at the Senior Bowl where they go, "Hey, strip down," and Mark's like, "No problem. All right, good. Hey, sweet. All right."
Yeah, because if I looked like that, I'd do every one of these shows shirtless. I mean, God, I mean, he's a beast. But to his credit, not only did he learn that position, but he became a very good technical linebacker by the end of last season. And that was always Chance's strength, was his ability to read the play and be very technically sound, and he was much more athletic than he got credit for. But that's a lot of dudes to replace. It's going to be one of the interesting things to watch for Saturday. I know all eyes are kind of on quarterback, but there's a lot of stuff I'm watching for as well. Who was Braylon with, by the way? What camp was he in?
Drummond was a Cowboy. I don't remember what camp Braylon was.
I won't be surprised if Braylon makes a practice squad and gets an opportunity. His
because that's what we don't know yet. They haven't brought everybody back.
Yeah, his speed is a different deal. There were some interesting cuts around the league. The Bills cut O.J. Howard.
They did.
And he's in Cincinnati today, going to get a contract unless he fails his physical. They're going to add him.
The Raiders cut Alex Leatherwood, a guy who was their first-round pick 16 months ago.
Offered him, according to Ian Rappaport, offered him to all 31 other teams, and they all said no.
Well, that's not good.
Braylon was with Miami.
Okay.
Here's the deal about Jerrion, though, and I don't think I'm violating confidences here. Had Jerrion decided to stay in college, he was going to enter the portal. He was
yeah.
He was going to leave. He was not going to stay at Ole Miss for another season. And I don't think anybody at Ole Miss was going to be upset about it. It just and that's not because anybody didn't like him or whatever. I just think that ship had sailed.
Sure.
I mean, I don't think I'm violating confidences when I say that. But Jerry decided pretty early he was going to go pro. And it's people criticize it, and that's fine. You're free to criticize it. But if that's what you want to do, and that's the goal you want, I don't know that Jerrion could have come back to college and really upped his stake. He was who he was.
Yeah, I don't know there was anything he could have done, frankly.
Yeah.
There's that doesn't even.
I mean, the guy who, I guess he was out of eligibility. The guy who, if he had another year of eligibility, could have stayed and upped his would have been Mark.
Okay.
But he was out. I mean, that wasn't an option for him.
And, I mean, obviously they picked him because they thought they could do something with him, but he was a perfect fit scheme-wise with the Steelers for Mark to.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I remember.
Had he could have picked any of the 32 teams, that would have been one very high on the list to begin with.
I mean, I remember at that pro day, if you watch stuff, you can see stuff that's happening if you just kind of observe. The Cowboys were really locked in on Sam Williams, and I remember Mike Tomlin specifically watching a lot of Mark Robinson stuff. They were real interested.
That's right.
And they were thrilled when he was still there in the 6th round.
Is that when it was?
Yeah.
That's right.
I think what round did Chance go in? 5th, 6th?
It's 5th or 6th.
Yeah. That's a big pickup for the Titans.
What coaches were here that day? The head coaches?
Oh, there were several.
Matt Rule.
Yeah, Rule was here. Tomlin was here. You already mentioned him.
McCarthy at Dallas, right?
Yeah, McCarthy was here.
Because they brought Quinn too. Their DC.
Yeah.
He actually ran the drills.
Yeah, they were locked in on Sam.
Yeah.
There were 3 or 4 others. I can't remember who.
Just a 10-second thing here, but credit to Harold Varner, one of the guys leaving for Live Golf. He literally just said it was about the money yesterday. So congrats to Harold for that in our ongoing conversation. And congrats for getting the money, whatever. Skin off my teeth.
I need to ask Taylor about Live, right? Get his thoughts.
Yeah, his thoughts. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So he says. I mean, here's the deal. I don't know that many people have a ton of crazy thoughts. I mean, it just sort of is what it is. I think everybody's just sort of watching with a little bit of wonderment as it moves forward. So, whatever. All right. Let's see what else we got. A couple different things. Had it Verlander on the injured reserve for 15 days. Did you see that?
No. What happened?
He exited his start with right calf discomfort. They don't think it's overly serious, but the MRI did show fascial disruption, but no muscle fiber disruption in his calf. Probably okay, but he is the prohibitive favorite to win the Cy Young Award. He currently has a 1.84 ERA.
And the cat for the Rays got hurt too, right? Shane McClanahan.
I did not see this.
I thought he got scratched from his start in his bullpen yesterday.
Okay. Look, Father Time's going to hit Verlander a little bit. It's going to have some stuff becomes minor and some minor stuff becomes moderate.
So depressing.
True.
I mean,
what's like? Because I had
Kate. I can't play baseball for 15 days. I've got to stay here with you.
And it's just my calf.
It's just my calf. So
yeah.
I mean,
the age thing will get you though a little bit. I was talking to
probably should get off my feet for a little while.
I was talking to a buddy a couple days ago, and somebody else we knew had a wreck or something, and he goes, "Yeah, you have a wreck at our age, and it's different." I'm like, "My God, like you just say that sentence, like Jesus." And it's true though. I mean, even 38, that's not 23 getting bounced around a little bit during an accident. I was like, "Oh God, you're right here." You and I just did this off the cuff right before the show started. You would buy stock in Ritter at this point for the Falcons?
Desmond Ritter, yes, absolutely. I thought he was a terrific college quarterback. So
you think he's going to be a pain in my ass for a while?
Yeah.
Potentially.
I thought he was a terrific college quarterback who had all the tools. Smart guy, made really good plays. I mean, they beat some good teams. I know they lost to Alabama in that game, whatever, but go back and watch his games against Notre Dame, his games against teams like that. He was solid. It's one of the reasons I don't like Cincinnati in the opener. There's a lot of people that are picking Cincinnati to go to Arkansas and win because they're getting 6.5. I just don't like that. You're replacing a guy like that is hard. I'm not saying they won't do it because they probably will do it, but like they're doing the whole we know who our quarterback is, but we're not announcing it publicly thing. That always alarms me. Why not?
I'm just trying to keep them happy.
Or you're just not positive. I mean, we talked about this with Ole Miss yesterday. You would rather someone just go take the job. Where you go, yeah, our quarterback is so-and-so because he's just had a great camp. That's what you want. This guy's our starter. He's had a hell of a camp.
Team gets behind that dude.
Can't wait to get him out there. He's our guy. That's what you want to hear.
Because most of the time when that's not the case, yes, it means that there are things you don't like about everybody to some extent. It doesn't mean, oh, my God, these two are both just blowing it out of the water. I mean, they're awesome. We have 2 All-Americans like that. It's not typically the
right. It just doesn't happen.
It's not the way that works.
Yeah.
So now a word from our sponsor, BetterHelp. It'd be tough to train your brain to stay in problem-solving mode when faced with a challenge in life, but when you learn how to find your own solutions, there's no better feeling. Therapists can help you become a better problem solver, making it easier to accomplish your goals, no matter how big or small. Maybe it's time to give therapy a try. If you need to get something off your chest, talk through something, get help in whatever area. I know friends, family can be of assistance, but sometimes you need somebody with a clean slate. It doesn't have preconceived notions. It doesn't kind of come in with their own opinions, because you need to just have somebody who can hear you out, make it less stressful for you, and get you on the road to solving those issues. So if you think you're giving therapy a try, BetterHelp is a great option. It's convenient, accessible, affordable, and entirely online. You can get matched with a therapist after filling out a brief survey, and you can switch therapists anytime you would like. Try different people, find the one that fits for you. That's as important as anything. You can turn your video on or off. You can make it whatever you want it to be with BetterHelp. So when you want to be a better problem solver, let them help you. Again, that's betterhelp.com/MPW today to get 10% off your first month. That's betterhelp.com/MPW.
If you're coming up this weekend, stop by Opa. It's Oxford's newest restaurant on the square. Gyros, wraps, kebabs, redfish, lamb chops, handcrafted cocktails, frozen libations, an amazing candlelit patio, and more. 306 South Lamar, just south of the Square Courthouse in Oxford. Also brought to you by John Edwards of Regency Travel Incorporated in Memphis. It's a worldwide network. He's a part of Virtuoso, I should say, a worldwide network of travel partners that allows him to supply his clients with added values, unique benefits simply not available to other travelers. It's 901-494-3387 or jedwards@regencytravel.net. Brought to you by Pinnacle. Martin Palomo and I will be taping a Mind on My Money tomorrow. That's brought to you by Pinnacle. They're based in Madison, Mississippi. They specialize in investment management, financial planning, retirement planning for individuals and businesses, and much, much more. It's mypinwealth.com, mypinn.wealth.com. If you're headed to Oxford this weekend and you know you got a little shopping to do, maybe for someone special in your life, it's not too early to start thinking about that. Start by stopping at Lammon's, 1126 North Lamar Boulevard in Oxford. They've been serving the Oxford area for 3/4 of a century. Engagement rings, wedding rings, fine jewelry, watches, pearls, fashion jewelry. They've got it all. It's gold standard in fine jewelry. Visit them at lammonsfinejewelry.com or call them at 662-234-2777. Automation Control Systems, LLC, is owned by Clay McNutt. They're in Baldwin, Mississippi. It's a complete electrical control system solution provider and a Rockwell Automation recognized system integrator. They've got a full-time dedicated emergency service and troubleshooting staff and a UL 508A panel shop. We've got a lot more as well. So get in touch with them at acsllcms.com or call 662-601-4381. And we're brought to you by Game Changer Patches. Through tomorrow, I believe, you can go there. It's the kickoff 40 is the code. Enter kickoff 40 as the code and get 40% off your Game Changer patches at GameChangerPatch.com. GameChangerPatch.com. And then while you're using the promo code Rebel Grove, go to Dead Soxy and get the best socks you'll ever put on your feet. Up your sock game just in time for the football season at deadsoxy.com. DEADSOXY.com.
So just a minute here, but I'm curious, and if I'm curious and have any inkling of care at all, I figured there's some other people listening that do, or people that actually are interested in the sport. 10 years ago, I wouldn't have thought I would be asking you to explain this to me, but here we are. Can you give me a very brief understanding of kind of what's going on with the EPL, with Chelsea sucking and Man U sucking, and sort of how that would relate to an American sport?
Yeah, so Man U sucking would be like...
Because they're like really sucking.
Yeah, it'd be like the Yankees or Dodgers just sort of falling off the table. But in soccer, ownership is super important because it impacts spending. So Chelsea had a problem. Chelsea got
the
caught.
Ricketts say hello. Right.
Yeah, Chelsea they were owned by a Russian guy.
Okay.
And when everyone did this anti-Russia thing with the Ukraine.
Yeah, I remember this, yeah.
This isn't meant to be political, but it just is what it is. A lot of his money that he was going to use sort of got dried up.
Okay.
And Chelsea is going through the process of a sale, and they didn't spend as much, and some other teams did, and they've fallen off a little bit. They're just not quite as talented as some of the other teams. Like Man City's the big spender, and they're the best team. And Liverpool's good, and Arsenal has spent a bunch of money this time, and ownership's really important in that league because the teams that typically spend the most in what is basically the transfer portal,
sure,
free agency, they're really, really good, and it's just 11 players at once. You build it's kind of like the NBA. You can build a soccer roster pretty fast,
sure,
if you're out buying the best players.
Yeah. ESPN had a story with every NFL team and something that would not surprise them, essentially taking a shot on a prediction. And when I was glancing through them, because we'll get to see this quickly, next week was the opener between the Bills and the Rams. They said, don't be surprised if the Bills lead the league in sacks and takeaways. If that is true, they are going to the Super Bowl.
Yes.
Because the offense is pretty damn good, and if that's the case defensively...
Well, you could argue that last year they were a coin toss from going to the Super Bowl.
Well, they probably were.
I mean, they probably would have beaten the Bengals in the AFC title game.
Yeah. They get Tre'Davious White back. They picked up Von Miller in the offseason. They're loaded. I find myself gravitating toward them as just sort of the AFC team that I find fun. Not a fan or anything, but they're the ones I watch when they are on for whatever reason, the Bills.
Yeah.
And kind of have been. And that's only growing because of the Panthers be surprised if the Panthers sneak into the playoff. The problem is you're the third team in the division.
Yeah, you're the third team in the division, but the two teams above you in the division have question marks. Like Tampa has a question. Look, Tom Brady's 45.
Yeah.
That's a question mark.
At some point.
The Saints, I think the Saints are going to be good, but if someone dropped in here and goes, nah, the Saints just didn't quite have it.
Oh, they traded Chauncey Gardner yesterday. I mean,
yeah. I mean, if you tell me the Saints go 8-9, I'm not stunned. Are you? I'd be a little surprised, but not shocked.
No,
right?
it's the floor of what makes sense. Sure.
And if you told me that Baker Mayfield has a bit of a decent season and that raises their level of play just enough, sure, I could see Carolina going 10-7 and sneaking into the playoffs. Wouldn't shock me. Keep going. Sorry.
No, yeah, you're good. I mean, there's a lot of them I don't really care about at all because, I mean, there's some of them are just lukewarm stuff. Like, they're not surprised if Davis Mills plays well enough to keep the job in Houston. Okay, great. Nobody gives two damns about the Texans, so feel free. They think Jared Goff is actually going to have a really good statistical year, but it's not really going to translate.
See, with the Lions cut every other quarterback. They're going into practice today with just Jared Goff at quarterback.
The Cowboys did that too. They cut everybody but Dak.
Must be some thought that there's – we never even talked about this, by the way. The Garoppolo deal in San Francisco?
Yeah.
That's weird.
So they pay him $6.5.
But he could make up to like 10 or 11.
16.
Okay.
Technically. Because he gets a $500,000 bonus per game, and then there's some other stuff, some other escalators in it too. I think it's 16 total. It also means they're still probably trading him during the season. It does not mean they will not deal him, but he has the ability to reject whatever he wants.
So, but Jimmy Garoppolo walks. Look, they were this close to the Super Bowl a year ago. Jimmy Garoppolo walks into that locker room.
I got management questions.
I do too. And if I'm Trey Lance's people, I'm like, oh, come on.
Because look, most of the team sees Garoppolo as their quarterback, as they should. And he's the better quarterback than Trey Lance.
Well, right now today he is.
Yeah.
And so when they lose a couple of games and Jimmy's just standing over there.
Counting his money.
Yeah, going $2 million.
I am dressed out
million.
today. That's $500,000.
Like
I'm in uniform.
You like my hair? You like this hat? I like the hat too. $4 million. Yeah.
Because he looks over at Shanahan and goes, you want to play me or not or whatever?
If I'm him, I look over at Shanahan and go, hey, thanks for the cool gig. I'm going over to Sausalito tonight. You want to come with me? Street tacos on me, champ.
Yeah.
Because y'all paying me $11 million. You like my hat?
To do nothing.
Because you and I both did the same thing today. We both stood on the sideline and wore a hat, and they're jumping your ass. No one's saying anything to me.
They're for me. Backup quarterback's the most popular guy on campus.
Have you been to that place in Tiburon?
Yeah.
We could go. I mean, that's what he's going to do. I mean, but if you're Trey Lance,
you got this.
I mean, every time you look over to the sideline and It might as
Because
well.
we make fun of him, but Garoppolo's a good quarterback.
It might as well be one of those things, like at car dealerships, the thing with the waving hands. It just might be one of those deals. Every time you look over there, son, he's still there.
They have to trade him. But now you're giving a contract.
Who are you trading him to? You're waiting for someone to get hurt. Yeah, you're waiting for a team to lose their quarterback in week 1.
Yeah.
What if they don't? It's just I don't understand it. But they clearly don't.
Yeah, as they said, they didn't want to send him to Seattle.
And lose to him twice. Okay, then play him.
Yeah.
But you made a mistake in the draft. They got cute in the draft with Lance.
They're doing the thing where you break up with the girl and they get pissed off when she starts dating somebody else. It's like you didn't want to date her. You just don't want her dating somebody else.
Yeah. And the girl that you started dating dips her pizza in mayonnaise.
Yeah. Because I'm selling Trey Lance as a capable NFL quarterback to win playoff games.
Right now.
I get it's early.
They are too. Because if they loved what they saw out of Trey Lance,
peace.
They'd be like the Bengals with Burrow.
But what are they going to do? Bench him for Garoppolo in week 4?
Well, that's why Jimmy's there.
That'll go well.
Hey, look. Management matters in the NFL. It matters.
The Rams are sitting back going.
Yeah.
Somebody walked in McVay's office. Sure they gave Jimmy 6.5 to stay?
Yeah.
Hold on a minute. To not play? Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Look, all the guy did last year was win games. He just didn't do it pretty. But he won. Look, they were really close. He went to Green Bay and beat the Packers in a playoff game. He did. It's what we do with NFL quarterbacks. Right? What's the knock on Lamar Jackson? You don't win playoff games.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying Lamar Jackson's not better than Jimmy Garoppolo because he absolutely is. But it's not fair to go, well, Garoppolo sucks. Okay, we won playoff games. Mm-hmm. He went to Green Bay and won. Went to Los Angeles and damn near won. And they didn't lose because of him. The Rams made some plays.
Sure.
But it was right there. Didn't they go to Tampa and win?
No.
That was the Rams.
The Rams beat Tampa. Because they were a huge comeback. They almost
Who
lost.
did San Francisco beat in the first round?
Was it Green Bay?
Was it Green Bay? Okay.
I'm forgetting a little bit, but that sounds right.
They won a playoff game with him at quarterback. And we're right there from heading to the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl could very easily have been San Francisco and Cincinnati. At which point the Bengals probably have a title. And we're talking about them differently. You notice no one even talks about the Bengals as a contender? They went to the Super Bowl last year. They were 4 minutes away from winning it, and probably a bad call on Wilson from being one play away from winning it.
San Fran beat Dallas in Dallas, then beat Green Bay.
So he went and won 2 playoff games.
And then lost to the Rams 20-17.
That's what I thought. So he won 2 playoff games.
Yeah. Tampa beat Philadelphia, then lost to the Rams. So the Rams did beat Tampa, but it was other order.
I mean, isn't that the knock on Prescott? He doesn't win playoff games?
Yeah, he lost to Jimmy 23-17 in Dallas on January the 16th.
Yeah. God, I love the NFL playoffs.
Yeah, Rams 34-11 over Arizona, 30-27 over Tampa, 20-17 over San Fran, 23-20 over Cincinnati.
Like next Sunday, I love next Sunday. You wake up in the morning, and I have to write a lot on Sunday. I have to set up a lot of files. I've got to talk to people. It's a busy day. I get English Premier League in the morning and then the NFL starting at noon. Total background stuff makes me a much more effective writer because it kills writer's block.
Watching.
If you have stuff, you're thinking. Writer's block happens for me in June when you're just staring at the computer.
Mm-hmm. One that would get you excited because you're kind of a pseudo fan because of Herbert. It said, don't be surprised if the Chargers have a top 3 defense.
Oh, well, if they have a top 3 defense, boy, the AFC gets wild.
That West is a freaking bear.
It already
Chiefs, Raiders,
it already
Chargers.
is. It already is. Those are good
That's why
teams.
I'm not buying into the Broncos at all.
No, and it's why I'm not crazy about the Chiefs in this deal. Ben scared me again because I just deleted the bot, and then Ben comes back with something. I was like, oh, God, there it is again. Look, if the Chargers are a top 3 defense, they're winning the West.
They are. Speaking of the other LA team, not good news here. Don't be surprised if Matthew Stafford's elbow is an issue all season, is their prediction.
What's an issue now? But, hey, they have a ring.
So they don't think it will affect his availability, but that doesn't mean it's not going to affect his play.
So much of his game is built on being able to go over the top.
I mean, he did lead the league in interceptions last year. He throws it all over the place.
Yeah, but he's such a threat. So when you defend against them, you have to respect the deep route all the time. It was the problem for the Saints in the last couple of years of the Breeze era, is you really didn't have to worry about.
Couldn't go downfield at all.
Yeah, you knew.
It's affected them now because they built the roster to not go down the field, and now you need to go down the field. It's required, and it just doesn't.
Right.
The roster wasn't set up for that. They've had to kind of fix that. Yeah, the Rams are saying it's fine. It's nothing to worry about, and they have a plan, but that's hard to see.
I'm sure they do have a plan.
As this thing says,
it's not as good of a plan as having a healthy Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, it said the level of precision required to succeed at that position in the NFL is so high that the slightest problem affects placement of the throw by 2 or 3 inches, which is enough to turn a great year into a so-so year. Yes. The windows are not large, and they move very quickly.
No, I mean, the NFL, when you watch NFL.
Watch from the windows and go, hold on a minute.
It's fantastic. It's such a great game.
Most people don't have the arm strength to even get the ball. Forget accuracy, just through the window.
Well, and this is my Brady thing. It's why I'm not, when everybody goes Bucks. I mean, I hope so, because as a guy who's fighting Father Time himself, I'd like to see somebody claim a W, but you do kind of wonder.
Their Saints prediction is that Chris Olave from Ohio State will be the number 1 receiver on the team.
I can see that.
Ahead of Landry and Michael Thomas.
I can see that.
Again, he can go. He can move the ball.
What's their Bengals prediction?
Let's see. The Bengals. I guess I skipped that. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Hayden Hurst plays a bigger role in the offense than C.J. Azuma did.
I bet they're wishing they had not written that before today.
Okay.
Because you wonder if they're going to get Howard, if that's because they're just not impressed with what they've seen out of Hurst.
Yeah.
What's the Bears pick? That it's just not going to matter.
Let's see. Don't be surprised if Khalil Herbert ends the year as the team's lead running back instead of David Montgomery. Team that's going to suck still sucks. That's
Montgomery's. The tires are probably getting a little threadbare.
My boy Ray Davis had 87 in the score against Hawaii.
I saw that.
Saturday.
Thought about you.
He had a little bit of a day.
He gets Elon on Saturday. He'll put up some big numbers.
Phoenix are in
we're
trouble.
gonna get that first SEC booklet.
And Vanderbilt.
And Vanderbilt's gonna be on top of the East. 2-0. 2-0.
The Eagles' prediction is that A.J. Brown goes for more than 1,000 yards this year.
Yeah.
Sure. They predict the 49ers will miss the playoffs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely see that.
God, if they miss the playoffs with Jimmy standing on the sideline, that is not going to go well. If you're a 49ers columnist, you're like, oh, this is going to be so much fun.
Oh, every week.
Every week.
Hey, what locker are you going to? Hey, Jimmy, what do you think? What did you think of Trey Lance today? How's it going?
That's where if you're Garoppolo, you make sure you're there. Make sure your hat's perfectly placed or your hair is perfectly done.
Good looking dude.
Yeah, he's a good looking guy. You're just very corporate. Say all the right things. Just here to help Trey.
I'll do whatever they ask of me to do.
I am here to help Trey.
You could help the 49ers more if you took the field.
I'm here to help Trey.
Not my decision. I serve at the will of the administration.
Coach Shanahan believes in Trey, and I do too. I'm here to help. And smile. Have your teeth all sparkly.
We got some Titans fans in the stream. Says, don't be surprised if Treylon Burks leads all rookie receivers in catches this season.
Yeah,
Robert Woods likely the number 1 receiver, but
I won't be surprised if at the end of the season the whole A.J. Brown to Philadelphia thing looks good for everybody. Because, if Burks does what he's starting to do in Titans camp, you got AJ on a rookie scale deal again.
Oh, sure.
Which is a smart move.
We all think the Seahawks are going to suck, but they do have Kenneth Walker III potentially winning the NFL Rookie of the Year out of Michigan State. So, one piece, I guess, for.
Okay.
Also, if you're Kenneth Walker, that means taking the ball a lot on a year where you're going to get your tail kicked. It's a lot of tread we're losing in a rookie season when the team is not going to be good at all.
Well, NFL running backs get about, 5 years?
Yeah.
Make the most of it.
Because they're probably going 0-6 in the division, barring a home game with the Niners.
Ginger told me to bite my tongue. I would rather have AJ too. My point is if Burks gives you a really productive year, you basically have the next AJ
already
on a rookie scale deal instead of having to pay the older AJ
a lot more money,
$100 million,
which is what he got.
Yeah, so it makes sense.
Yeah. Podcast brought to you in part by Johnson Hill Creamery, johnsonhillcreamery.com. Small batch artisanal cheese they make locally in-house every single day. Catering, grazing tables, through the workshops that are very, very popular and more. That's 662-419-9201. Give them a call for tailgates all season long. They feed 10, 20, or 40, depending on whatever it is that you want. You can find the full menus at johnsonhillcreamery.com for that. Again, email them, give them a call. They'll help you out with whatever it is you need. Again, that's 662-419-9201.
7 South Tailgating is ready to take care of you starting this weekend with tailgating in the Grove. If you want to lock in a package, go to 7southtailgating.com. They're currently booking single game, multi-game, full-service packages. They still have availability for any and all services and game selections. They offer tailgating packages for any budget, any party size, any number of games needed. Again, 7southtailgating.com. We're brought to you by Holcomb Portable Buildings. Holcomb Portable Buildings is in 7991 Highway 7 South in Holcomb, Mississippi. They custom build your building to your specifications, however you want your carport, ATV, or storage shed, barn, hunting cabin, or other buildings. Holcomb can accommodate you. You pick the color, the styles, the windows, and the doors, and Holcomb makes it happen. In-house financing is available, free delivery and setup within 75 miles of Holcomb as well. 662-226-2233 or go to holcombbuildings.com. We're also brought to you by our friends at Solutions RX. It's a probiotic multivitamin supplement company created by Ole Miss pharmacy alum Chris Cornelison. I've been using some of their products. I think they make a huge difference in me. They will for you as well. It's solutionsrx.com. Go to the promo code OEP at checkout and get 10% off of your first order. Brought to you by myperfectfranchise.net. If you're looking to diversify, looking to leave the corporate rat race, gain control of your income and schedule, myperfectfranchise.net offers the ability to create income and wealth. To learn more, email Andy at myperfectfranchise.net. A-Stock Auctions is a Nashville-based online auction company with the mission to provide customers the power to name their price. All items at A-Stock Auctions start at just $1. That's right. Every item starts at just $1. Shop now at astock.bid or download their app. Name your price on thousands of items from big-name retailers. A-Stock Auctions has multiple locations around Nashville that offer local pickups, so don't miss out. Want it? Bid it, win it at astock.bid. Blue Delta Jeans is excited to announce they'll be hosting Mustache the Band on Friday, October the 14th for the Square Jams after party. So you can go to Square Jams on Friday night, and between that and the Auburn game the next day at Vaught Hemingway, you can spend some time with the people at Blue Delta Jeans and take in the world's most powerful 90s country party band at the Lyric. Ticket packages are on sale now. Some tickets include jeans, some don't, but all include admission to the concert and an open bar. To book, just DM Blue Delta on their socials or visit bluedeltajeans.com/afterparty. And we're brought to you by Comer Heating and Air, Southern Air Conditioning and Heating. We'll have hand-raised guys tomorrow night. They sponsor that. It's different names, same great products and services. If you live in Oxford, Tupelo, or the surrounding area, call Comer. 662-801-1777. If you live in Hernando, Memphis, or the surrounding area, call Southern. 662-429-4429. And we're brought to you by the College Corner. It's your one-stop Rebel Shop. 2 locations in the Jackson area in Ridgeland. It's next to Fleet Feet. In Flowood, it's next to Half Shell. If you don't live in Jackson, just go to collegecornerstore.com. Plus, you can find them on Facebook and Instagram with the largest selection of Rebel gear in Central Mississippi.
I was looking around a little bit, and it's not going to be Alabama or Texas A&M or something, but I am a little curious on Saturday, just the Ole Miss front. We think the line's going to be good. We think they potentially have some depth into those next couple spots after the starting five. We know they have 6 they really like for sure. Another couple others that have been okay. Troy does return 2 guys that combined for 19 sacks last year. I mean, there is potential
They have the kid
for at least a test there.
They have the kid that transferred from Auburn who's really good as a pass rusher. Now, he's not great against the run, but he can get to the quarterback. Look, Troy's going to be good. If people are thinking Troy's going to be this team that you whack by 50,
it's not an FCS team.
You're probably in for a disappointment. I think Ole Miss wins. I think Ole Miss covers. But Troy's not going to finish at the bottom of the Sun Belt. They're going to finish somewhere in the upper half of the Sun Belt. They're a solid team.
You mentioned the Sun Belt being so much more palatable for fans and rivalries and all those things compared to Conference USA.
Yeah.
Troy's schedule is a really good representative of that because when I'm looking at it, and again, it's not SEC or something, but they play a lot of games where I at least have some level of passing interest. Like just, hey, did they win? Did they lose? I mean, which is it's something because in Conference USA, I don't give 2 damns if Rice or Old Dominion or whomever wins those games. It does not matter. But Troy's schedule, they get Ole Miss, App State, Marshall, Western Kentucky, Southern Miss, South Alabama, Louisiana Lafayette, ULM, and Army.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, there's a lot of games where you go, hey, Troy win. How'd Summerall do?
Mm-hmm. Bunch of them.
They play South Al and they play Kane. We go, oh, how'd that win?
Sure.
What was that? What was that?
Sure.
Pretty good.
Be a lot of ADs watching that game. There would be.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a really good mid-tier league.
Georgia State's a good team.
Yeah.
Don't be stunned Saturday.
You're kind of getting a little.
Just don't be surprised if that's a really tight game. Don't be surprised when you're doing that post-game show on Saturday night if you're like, oh, look at that.
Gamecocks.
Because that game starts about the time you hit the button.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't be shocked if you're looking there in third quarter. It's like 17-14, and you're like, oh, got to keep an eye on that. Don't be surprised. Now, look, South Carolina might go whack them, but I don't think so. It's an opener. Opening games are weird. But it's not a bad league. There's some bad teams in the league, but it's not a bad league. They have some decent teams in that league. Some talented players in that. I promise you this, SEC teams are watching the Sun Belt.
Oh, yeah. Move up, move down.
I mean, it is.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that.
It's like a legitimate AA league. You go watch AA players, people who can excel at the AA level, they can play in the majors. It's that deal.
I was glancing through the notes, and I noticed that Jalen Robinson has already graduated, and his degree is in human communications. Is that like psychology, sociology? Is that some sort of like body language kind of deal? What would that be?
I don't know.
I just found it interesting because I saw communications. I'm like, oh, media. I was like, no, human communications.
I can look it up real quick.
As opposed to? Yeah, it just struck me.
Human communications. Okay, here we go. It is a field of study dedicated to understanding how humans communicate, obviously.
Thanks.
Humans' ability to communicate with one another would not be... All right, now wait a minute. Give me something more than that. That feels like an answer from Kamala Harris. It's very diverse, multiple layers.
It does require at least 24 hours in the Nicholson School of Communications and Media. So why are we not just calling it communications? I mean, as opposed to what? K9 communications? Like what is?
Because that would be interesting.
Just curious.
I now want to see more about the curriculum. Like, what is the curriculum for human?
The study of human communications. Yeah.
Is not very good podcasting. Curriculum. Let's see what that is.
They get several tracks: general human communication, business and professional communication, health communication, interpersonal communication, or social innovation and activism. So you get 4 sub-tracks out of human communication. Yeah, understanding cultural and gender-related differences in how people communicate. To be honest, if you had somebody really drop all the BS and have that real class, and it would be fairly interesting.
Yeah.
But,
I mean,
I just have a hunch.
I'm viewing the full description.
Is it loose on specifics?
It's real loose. I'm wondering how many football players major in this.
You think Jalen might not be the only one?
I got a feeling there's a lot of human communication majors at UCF.
Looks like I got
$212 per credit hour, by the way.
I mean, I got my last couple 300 levels in online criminal justice back in the day.
How'd that go?
It's not complicated. You show up and just kind of sort of answer some questions here or there. It's all right. You can.
It's kind of like at ULM when you apply for the master's. They just say, "What time would you like to come pick up your degree?"
Well, I did. So I recall needing 3 sciences. 2 had to be lab based, and you got the one other that could do whatever.
Yeah.
And there was a chemistry for non-majors, and it was online. And in the syllabus, the guy basically was like, "I get all you guys are not doing science. If you promise me you'll never walk into a lab, just finish the work." Like, it was basically in the syllabus going,
yeah.
I get it. You're an English major, you're whatever. As long as you promise to never pick up a beaker, then we'll get through this okay. And just, yeah, because online chemistry, think about that. I'm never anything.
Well, it's like I'll do something stupid at home, and Laura will say, "You have a master's degree," and I always go, "From ULM." I mean, we've had that conversation 15 times. It's not Harvard. Chill out. Don't hold me to some standard that I don't.
You didn't write a 275-page dissertation on.
I did have to write a big.
On what?
I don't even remember anymore. It was about the effect of.
It was media consumption or something, right?
Yeah, it was the effect of media consumption on behavior or something. I don't remember. It was a lot of work. I do remember that. I mean, all jokes aside, it was a ton of work. It probably wasn't graded all that harshly, but
yeah. But they did require actual assignment.
Yeah, and I had to do oral comps.
Yeah,
I did have to do that.
Okay.
That was intimidating. You had to know.
Yeah, sure.
You know, not everybody passed, but
we should get those people on the podcast. They failed out of ULM in the master's program.
I don't remember anyone.
It means they didn't do the work.
Yeah, it meant they didn't do the work.
They literally just didn't finish.
And there were some statistics courses that were really hard.
Now, those would beat me up.
There were a couple of those that it was like, oh, okay. I mean, I can remember, no joke, some nights when I would get back from bartending at 1 and study until 4:30.
Really?
Oh, yeah. For sure.
The Yankees have bought a small piece of AC Milan, by the way. Saw that today.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm. So the second soccer team the Yankees partially own after they also have after New York City in Major League Soccer. When
you say the Yankees, do you mean the Yankees ownership? So it's the Steinbrenner family or the actual Yankees?
It says the New York Yankees.
Huh.
I don't know.
I wonder if they're positioning themselves to put them on a network.
We have a multi-decade relationship with the New York Yankees and the Steinbrenner family that resulted in the creation of some of the most successful businesses in sports, entertainment, and hospitality, said somebody on the Milan website.
Okay.
So, yeah, just a little news there as we get going.
Speaking of soccer, Ole Miss soccer tomorrow night against Louisiana Tech in Oxford. Matt Mott will join us on the podcast next week.
Okay.
So I thought next week would be a good week to talk to Matt because I don't know how much Central Arkansas preview we can truly do.
He's had 4 shutouts so far. They're 3-0-1. Had 1 tie against Samford, which has won the SoCon 8 years in a row.
And that game was played in 90-something degree heat.
In Birmingham.
Whew, boy.
Speaking of, Samford posted on the board yesterday, Ole Miss baseball, their 2 fall inter-squad scrimmages, not inter-squad scrimmages, will be against Samford and UAB. One's like October 8th, and one's
Couldn't
like
you just call them scrimmages? Would they even need an adjective?
following the vernacular. I don't know.
But that adjective is not needed, right? It's a scrimmage.
Well, but it could be a scrimmage against yourself. That would be an intra-squad scrimmage.
Right. But if you're scrimmaging someone else, it's just a scrimmage.
So once you say intra-squad against UAB, it's redundant because if you're playing UAB, it is no longer required to be an intra-squad.
Unless there's a chance that...
Had it last week just said they're going to have 2 inter-squad scrimmages, but I don't know who they're against, then okay, that counts. Yeah.
Yeah, because...
I didn't name opponents.
That would mean that they were scrimmaging themselves.
No, intra-squad is yourself. Inter-squad is someone else.
Then there's no reason to say inter-squad because you're just scrimmaging.
Yeah. Unless
there's a chance that you would put some of your players on their team to...
That'd be a little weird.
Which would be weird.
Yeah.
You could do it in baseball.
Yes. Nobody would care.
Like if Samford said, "Hey,
we need a pitcher.
Our third baseman's hurt."
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I've got a kid that needs some.
Go.
Put a jersey on for the day.
So UAB, Samford, the 2 opponents for Ole Miss this fall in those games.
How do you think men's soccer would do in the SEC if it just in a hypothetical world where you played scholarship level soccer?
Okay.
How do you think it would do in this part of the country? Because professional soccer does really well in this part of the country. Would people go to men's soccer games?
I'm trying to do it relative to women's soccer, and I can't make my mind up on which one I think would do better.
I think they both would do really well.
My gut is it would be relatively the same and maybe a touch worse attendance than women's soccer.
Okay.
But that is just a ballpark guess. Because most of your crowd, I don't know if you're getting a crowd that is not families and people just looking for something to do on Friday and Sunday.
Sure.
That's the question.
Right.
Which requires a lot of marketability.
It does.
Which Ole Miss soccer and volleyball does a good job locally with that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
I mean,
how does it go? How do they do it? Kentucky and the places that do have men's soccer.
I don't know. Like, I've seen the pictures because at one point Carson was looking. This was before the pandemic hit and everybody shut camps down. Look at me! I bit my tongue. There's a couple of Big Ten schools that have it. Like Indiana has men's soccer, and they get apparently big crowds for their games. But I don't
really.
Yeah, I don't know about all the other. Well, no, compared to the English Premier League, nothing.
Oh well,
is a
hell.
good watch. I mean, geez. I mean, come on.
No, just relative to other Olympic sports.
It's like saying junior college football is not a good watch compared to the NFL. It's true.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that's fair, but sure. Hey, you can watch Northwest and Southwest, or you can watch. That
would be a really good SNL skit. Is like the guy who's only the NFL fan going to like the high school football game and going, "God, they suck," and like yelling and everything. Yeah, it's good. Oh, all right. Tomorrow, Jeffrey Wright. Tomorrow morning, Taylor Zarzer. Tomorrow evening, the 2-show day, and leading up to Saturday afternoon, 3:00, Ole Miss and Troy from Vaught Hemingway Stadium. John Sumrall returning to the sidelines at the Vault. Lane Kiffin beginning his 3rd year. A quarterback will take the first snap. All those things and more. Unless they get the Wildcat and give it to Ulysses Bentley on the first play.
I would have mad respect for that.
A quarterback. Bentley is technically the starting quarterback.
I would laugh so hard that I would get scolded in the press box.
Just the first play. Bentley takes the Wildcat, and
that would be because
they would have to write down Bentley is the quarterback.
Kiffin likes to troll.
Yeah.
God, that would be so funny.
Runs a Bentley Evans Wildcat on the first play.
Just one play.
Yeah. And then the quarterback comes in.
And then whoever comes in, you're like, well, they're not the starter.
Who started the 2022 season opener? Ulysses Bentley.
Oh, that would be. I mean, the more I think about it, the more I think I love that. I would immediately start writing my column about Lane Kiffin is the greatest troller in the history of man. New graph.
Yeah.
Here's what he did Saturday. New graph.
Yeah.
If the 2 stories coming out of the first game are, hey, Juice didn't
do anything stupid
on his walk, and Ulysses Bentley was the starting quarterback, I'm giggling.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be funny.
Yeah. So just a thought. All right, be back tomorrow with another show. Hope you have a great day. Take care.